Welcome to episode 3 of the Summer Swing series, where we take 2 brand new players and teach them to play slow pitch softball. This week we build on last week's lessons on generating power from the hips and proper grip mechanics, and learn to apply that to inside versus outside pitches. This concept is based off the idea that our zones of contact points roughly form an arc, and that inside pitches are meant further out in front of our body, represented by the green circle in the diagram, and that outside pitches we let travel deeper, represented by orange circle in the diagram, and we make a contact point that is deeper in the pitch path, resulting in a hit that goes to opposite field. To help reinforce the different contact points, we'll start with tee work, where we alternate between a pull contact point and an opposite field contact point to reinforce the difference. Then we go into some soft toss to start getting Chloe and Isuru used of identifying inside and outside pitches and reacting accordingly with their swing. Before we get into the footage this week, I'm going to point out some things that I noticed while editing the video, so that you can also look out for those things while you watch their swings from this week's footage. One thing I've noticed from Chloe's swings during tee work is that she has a tendency to get too much separation between her hips and her hands. As you can see in this slow motion clip, as her hips begin to rotate forward, her bat starts to fall backwards. By the time her left foot touches down, her upper body is still moving backwards to support the bat, meaning that all of the potential power from coiling her hips backwards is lost. Alternatively, during our front toss, Chloe didn't coil her hips at all. Instead, she opted for a slide step that is very similar to how she swung before the beginning of the series. While watching Isuru swings, I could see that he was struggling to keep level bat path towards the ball. Last week we discussed that his upper arm, lower arm, and bat should all be on the same plane. But you can see in this slow motion clip that Isuru still showed patterns of extending his left arm very early and then turning his wrist to point his bat downwards, instead of keeping the angle of his wrist locked and the bat in line with his upper arm. One thing that both Chloe and Isuru struggled with was that they both bent their left knee to cover for short pitches. This results in a loss of power, since it is harder for your hips to rotate and to extend when your left hip is flexed and your knee is bent. The ideal way to cover for this pitch is to hinge at the hips to adjust your bat plane. This is something that we'll cover in detail next week. With these topics covered, let's get into the swings. Did you watch the video?
Yes.
Did you watch the video?
Somewhat.
So generally speaking, everything, obviously there were some improvements from last week, which is great. The one thing I want to review with you guys is you both have a tendency to hunch over, especially in the load for no reason. So I want you to get used of, you coil, so you're vertical and relaxed, you coil, and then only, and today I'm gonna start teaching you why, only when you decide you need to hinge at the hips, do you hinge after coil. So here, and then as you're stepping, then you would start to coil, right? So that's the first thing. So get used to being tall, like upright posture when you load. Today, so when you take your swings, of course, I still want you to keep your hips engaged. I still want maximum bat speed. I want you to continue to keep your hands in and extend through contact. One thing I did notice about you last week that I only saw when I was looking at video is that you had a tendency to release the bat with your top hand early. So you'd be here, then you'd actually make contact like this. Yes, and that was a symptom of you also extending early, and you had to let go to continue the momentum. Otherwise, it would kind of yank you back and you'd be doing a two-hand finish. So I don't need to address that directly, because with you keeping your hands in, it'll be easier for you to keep your hand on the bat. Yeah. Today, you're going to start understanding what the difference is between how to hit an inside pitch and how to hit an outside pitch. Okay?
Is that when we oppo?
Yes. So oppo, hitting opposite field, is the result. The thing that you should think about as you're trying to understand how you approach different pitches is that your ideal contact point, so think about the sweet spot on the bat, it forms an arc, right? So if you have an inside pitch, the line of the inside pitch crosses the arc at this kind of point, whereas the line on the outside pitch will cross something like here or here, depending on how you want to attack it, right? So the first thing is, inside, you meet it out in front. Outside, you let the pitch travel deeper and meet it further back. Now for low and high pitches, you adjust by hinging at the hips. So if I have a chest high pitch, I do not need to bring my bat path down. I can simply make contact out here and everything's good. If I have
a low pitch and it's still inside, I would load, I would hinge at the hips, which will take my bat plane from here to here. So load, I hinge, everything stays the same except my bat plane is now in this line instead of this line.
Is there a reason why you drive it for a low pitch?
Yes, because one, it'll be a strike and you'll strike out if you don't swing. Or two, you decide, low and inside, typically you go third base line. You decide the third baseman is someone you want to hit at, or that direction is someone you want to go. Maybe the outfielder's far away from the left field line, that kind of thing. So hinging at the hips and adjusting your contact point are how you adjust the pitches. The two extremes in terms of contact points, and I'm gonna have you both get used to it today, is high and inside, and then low and outside. So I'm gonna have you start to feel what those feel like in terms of how you adjust. I'm gonna take one of each to show you kind of what I'm expecting. So I'll let you guys in on where I stand. So normally, me being a taller guy, pitches, me wanting the pitch to cross like here-ish, I stand pretty high up in the box. So you see my back foot is in line with the front edge. This is where I would stand. This means my inside contact point is probably here. It's actually a little, this is probably where I hit my inside pitch. So think about that spot. So I'm just gonna hit this. Oh, right over the top. And then my outside pitch contact point is probably here. So you can see how big a difference it is for me. So this is one, because I'm a little bit taller, I have longer arms, but also because my bat is longer, I hang my pinky completely off, I overlap two fingers. So I need to give myself that space to adjust, but also means I have this wider range of pitches that I can cover. So now I'll hit this pitch. This is kind of low outside-ish. I'll probably hit it towards second base. Or right down the line, it's whatever. So yeah, so that's what I'm expecting you guys to, the difference in your contact point and where it goes and so on. So when you're still loading by like kicking your leg back in here, I want you to load intentionally, so slow back and then you explode. Yeah, so I don't want you to get used to the momentum of swinging and then on the way back, then you go. You need to go when the pitch is coming, not when your leg is timed up for you. The other thing I want you to do is so you keep going here and then you dip this bat to make that kind of contact. I want a level plane with you, okay? So you're still hitting like the very end of the bat. That's what that sound was. So remember I asked you to try to adjust and hit closer to the taper. Do the same thing here. The good contact, you still have a tendency to, you lift higher than you need to, when the important part is to rotate backwards, right? So rotate backwards, and then when you're going forward, I want everything to be fast. Your whole body to be as fast as you can. Good contact. You have your hands lined up in that box formation still. I need you to turn the door knocking knuckles. Good. So set up as if the pitcher was on that mound, set up like you would that. Okay, take a swing. I just want to make sure this is where you'd hit it, and then we'll go. Cool. So same spot. So now I want you to hit, if you think about the plate, I don't know where the plate would be in relation. And I know you don't know yet because you haven't played. We'll say this is a plate.
Okay.
An inside pitch, you would make contact here. Okay? So we're gonna set this tee here. I'm just gonna ask you to hit it, and then we're gonna see what that looks like.
And I can't move.
No, you cannot, because this is you adjusting. So if we need to, I'm gonna make the contact point further out, but for now, I just want you to hit it. Good. Okay, so make sure you stand in that same spot. It's not that far. It looks far, it's really not that far.
When I hit, can I lunge? Like,
Yeah, so adjust with the foot as much as you need to hit the ball. Good, so what I'm looking to see how far I need to take you. So let me stand in the box for a second. What I'm expecting is that at some point, you're gonna make contact like this. So you see the angle of the bat and the ball's gonna go that way. You're finding a way, so when it was closer, you kind of open up and like inside out it. And then as I make it further, you lunge further and you inside out it some more, right? I'm looking for you to cover the distance by allowing the arc of the bat to travel and make contact like this. Good. We got the right line, so we're making progress. But yeah, so same thing, just cover the distance with the arc, but zone in on the middle of the ball. And let's see how you hit it. Good, better. Still end cap. So everything you're doing, think about hitting the ball here on your bat.
overcorrect it.
Yes, we're gonna keep overcorrecting until I'm telling you to hit it with your hands. Good, that was, I think, sweet spot. I think you missed it. One more. Try to overcorrect a bit more and lock in the middle of the ball. There you go. I think that was sweet spot. Okay, Chloe, get in. Okay. Load it up again. We're gonna go 1 inch closer. No, so you always stay in the same spot. We're adjusting your contact point.
Gotcha.
Good, okay, I think this is the spot. So take a few more. So now I'm looking for you to do all the same previous cues, line up your door knocking knuckles, load, explosive, bat speed, and so on. Good. So in that last one, you loaded and then it looked kind of hasty. It looked like rushed, where you went here and then you're off balance. So I want you to when you load, slow and intentional, and then you decide you're gonna go, and then everything goes at the same time, okay? Good. The body looked much more controlled, that one, than the previous one. So 2 more, let's zone in on the middle of the ball. You've hit the bottom part, I think, the last 2 times. So whatever your focal point is on the ball that you look at, look a centimeter higher. Good, there you go, it's better contact. I think it was end cap from the sound, but I'll have to take a look after. So 1 more, everything you can for bat speed. No, so hit that ball, and then I'm gonna adjust it after.
Same direction?
Yes, well, here you're gonna hit it wherever you think you can hit it the hardest. But I'm expecting it to go there. Good shot. Okay, so go put the ball on, stand in the box like I normally would. So that is your contact point, more or less, for an inside pitch. And then Chloe, you should observe this also. As the contact point, as the pitch is further out, you make contact deeper. So the other extreme is probably about here for outside. So you can think of it being more or less like a smooth line of how your contact point shifts, right? The other difference also is the ball travels in an arc, so you can imagine it's high and ends up low. As you put a tee further back, you always put the pitch a bit lower, all things staying consistent with the pitch that you received. So for you, we're gonna put this here-ish, and I'm gonna ask you to just try and hit it, and don't overthink it.
Doesn't matter where.
Just hit it. Let's just see how you hit it. Okay. I want you to stride more. So just pretend like I'm you in the box. For an inside pitch, you would load, you would step like more or less this, and then you'd make contact like that. I want you, after you load, you stride more towards that side of the diamond. So you go here, you end up here with your stride, and that makes your contact point like this. Good. You're still hitting the end cap, so overcorrect. You can also think about taking a more exaggerated stride towards the ball if you need to cover the ground. I don't think you do. I think it's just your contact. There we go. That's more sweet spot. Okay. So now I'm going to let you set up. If you remember the inside pitch, put the tee where you think it was. So set up your spot in the box where you think you were. This is the plate.
Sorry.
Okay, your contact point I think was about here. Good. That was great. So set up in the box. Go ahead. So just try and hit that however you think you should hit it.
Don't worry about footwork or anything.
No, just hit it. Good. So load one up. So everything you naturally adjusted very well because you still hit it. The only thing I need you to do more is be more intentional with the direction of your stride.
Yep.
So on the inside pitch, you would load and then you step normally like straight, maybe a bit towards third base.
Yep.
Here I want you to stride a bit more towards where second baseman would be. So you load and then you go like this a bit more, okay? Good, so your foot still ended up here. I'm expecting it to go like here.
Okay.
So this setup again, were you in the same? I think you went deeper than last time. So there's your box.
Yep. That's here-ish.
Yeah, sure.
For the dip.
Just for your sake, I hope, yeah. You have to be in a consistent spot because otherwise you're changing your contact point. It's hard to know what your... Okay, so if you're there, go just a bit deeper. Okay, so you still stepped very straight out to center instead of over here. Yes. It doesn't have to be, the thing is, the length of the stride is not so much as important as the direction of the stride. Yes. Good, that's better. Now I'm going to see how far I need to take you. So set up. Good. So this pitch, where it stands and where we have the plate, is a ball because it's probably going to land deep.
Yep.
And also outside, but I want to see if this is where your oppo pitch is. So I want you to try to visualize, remember we talked about the arc concept? So you make contact earlier like this, just fine. This ball I'm expecting you to hit like here-ish, but also combined with, so you load, you stride, and that gives you space for your hands to get through a bit more. And then you extend and hit it more or less here. Okay? And then getting here and a combination of extending your wrists should generate some level of side spin is the key thing I'm also looking for. Good. So now I know this is too far for you. Yes. So set up. And I needed to find your extreme so I can know what you could probably hit. And this you should probably be able to hit. So wherever you're aiming on the ball, I want you to aim higher. And then also, I'm pretty sure you're still looking at the ball, but also really make sure you look at the ball. But higher, whatever your point is, aim higher on it. There we go. So that's more or less oppo. So load one more in your inside pitch position. So wherever you think it should be, and you should put the tee more inside. That's good. So you're very comfortable hitting the ball inside. You need to get that comfort level here. Okay, so we're gonna do, are you guys familiar with soft toss or front toss? Good. Yes. But it's close, and I'm gonna like help you guys time it up, of course. But the whole point is that, let me just make this a little more reasonable. So this is just here for my reference, not really for you guys. So in short, this is like, yeah, the board for the strike zone. So in short, I'm gonna show you the ball. I'm gonna throw you underhanded, and they're gonna naturally drift to the inside or the outside. So you hit it. If you identify it's inside, so you're gonna make contact further out in front. If you identify it's outside, you're gonna let it travel, and you're gonna hit it deeper and take it to the opposite field, right? If I see you do the wrong thing, I'm gonna say inside or outside. And then you should be able to connect, oh, that was outside, I didn't hit it like I should an outside pitch, based off tee work, okay? Good, that was outside. So outside, if it goes up the middle, more or less okay. Good. Two more. That was middle. So I normally expect it to go center, pull side, if anything. Advanced, you could go anywhere, but yeah. Good. So that was inside. You were late. Good. Chloe, get in. Like here, like this being close, you guys have to make your decision quickly on if it's inside, outside, right? I'm going to give you plenty of time to make a good decision, but you can't see it and then be like, oh, let me wait. Oh, now I go inside, right? If you see it and you think it's inside, already load and prepare like you're going to pull it and hit it early, okay? Good. Good. So that was outside. You see, you had less power going that way because you have to extend, right? So that one, I want you to let it travel deeper and then hit it in that like hands in kind of formation. Good. So that one, you were like a tiny bit late, but the right direction and it went off pretty well, right? Good. Outside. Two more. Good. One more. Okay. That was middle. Switch. On that outside pitch, so that was kind of middle outside, really let the ball travel and get deep, okay? Okay. Good, hey. That's good. So you let it travel deep. You didn't have to put that much into it to hit it. It was perfect. Good. Good. Watch your head. So you're late. You're too far. Yeah. Good. Two more. Kick that ball away, just in case. Good. Good, I then need one more Good. Good. That was a terrible pitch. Good. Just a bit late. I like it though. Good. Good. Good shot. Two more, and then I'm gonna move the pitching thing back. One more, I don't remember. One more. Outside. So you're gonna have more time to decide. I'm looking for intentional loading and coil and bat speed and all the good things. So remember I told you before about loading and being patient and deciding to go? Load and then decide when you're gonna go and go, okay? Good. Okay. That was tough. Inside was the right approach. It was a tough spot. Good. So you're consistently like a millisecond too early because you're always hitting the end. Yeah. Two more. Nice shot. Good. Good. Outside. Good. Yeah, so as you load, get comfortable loading and being able to pause for like a split second, right? I think I saw the double tap. Yeah. Sorry, that was short. Good. So that one you were late, I think you know. Two more. Good, end cap.